Okay, officially welcome you to week one of the Artist Way. I'm so excited. I'm always really excited to see who responds to the call. Like who literally responds to the call, like to do this. So I applaud you all first and foremost for being here. I am having some weird why is it doing that? Weird view options. There we go. So let's just do a quick intro. Let's see. Okay, I just sent this to my laptop. Okay, so Mar will be joining. Let's just do a quick intro, round robin style, about what it is that you are hoping to gain from joining this group, and also like what level after reading, if you've done the intro, what is okay. Computers. If you've done the intro reading, like what level of commitment would you say that you're at a scale of 0, which obviously everybody's beyond a 0 because you're already on the Zoom call this morning, to a 10, like I am doing this. What's your level of commitment when you hear about the morning pages and you hear about the artist date, and you hear that she says that, like for the tasks, if you want to do about like an hour a day, like if that is like at the fullness of the system, where are you at? And I'll just start with a quick introduction while we're waiting for a couple other people to join. So this book came to me in 2022, and it was February, and I was really starting the beginning of my journey about my abundance mindset, formerly known as my scarcity mindset. So I was really working through, I was still early stages of my divorce and trying to regain control, or I shouldn't even say gain control and gain understanding of my finances. And this book came in, and I think that we have Mare joining us. And just I've just dove into it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And for me, every year it's a little bit different, but this year recommitting with a group of people, what is getting me excited is that one of the things I've wanted to do is write some books, and we have a published author with us right now. Princella just published a book, but I want to get inspired this summer to move beyond. My work has been my creative work, but I want to do the creativity for me. So just to do some more writing for me is what has come up this last week, as I'm thinking about, like, okay, if this is the fourth time I'm doing this, and it's also the fourth time that I've signed this contract, there's this contract here on page 23. So my level of commitment on a scale of 0 to 10 is a 10. I'm a 10. I'm here for, first and foremost, for myself, but also for the group to just kind of hold us and guide us, and you know so that's my commitment level. So Mar, the question was, what's bringing you here? What is it that you hope to gain? And then also, what's your level of commitment to the journey? So I'm going to just let everybody kind of, well, actually, no. We'll just go. Princella, go ahead and start. I'm just going to call your name and then just do an introduction, where you're calling in from, whatever you want to say, but what you're hoping to gain, and then your level of commitment.
Okay, love it. So I'm in Michigan now. I think this year's our first year RVing. So we were in Arizona, now we're in Michigan, and plan to go back to Arizona. And I did write a book. It took me a long time. And as a matter of fact, the journey of writing the book became the journey of figuring out what I really wanted to do. And
Oh.
so now it's there, it's written, and I'm so thankful for it, because it also led to why I joined this group.
Hmm.
Somebody wrote a review of my book, and they said it reminded me of The Artist's Way. And I'm like, The Artist's Way? Really? First of all, what is that? And I loved the title.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and I was like, gosh, yeah, I want to do that. And then you sent an email. that that's what you were focusing on in this group, the book that you were going to be focusing on. And I'm like, yep, got to do it. And
Cool.
it's really a big part of what my book is about, like doing those, what the universe brings to us, you know, and being reminded of things. Oh, and that's our reminder of what we're meant to do next. And so I thought, okay, I'm following this all the way. So I'm absolutely a 10. Absolutely.
Yay. Oh my gosh, a 10. Okay, that's awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Priscilla. We're so glad you're here. Kimber, why don't you introduce yourself and what brought you here?
Okay. Kimberly and Kimber. And I saw this book like 20 years ago, maybe 25.
Yeah.
Started it, chickened out. And I have that problem with chickening out because I have a lot of spirit and a lot of connection. And then I just chicken out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to commit. I wrote down 7 to 10, right? So it
Okay.
might
You're like,
vary
I'm
when I
going to
get
range.
gnarly in there, but I'm gonna stick with it, and with support, it'll be easier.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I'm gonna say 7 to 10, and today it's a 10.
Okay. And
Right?
and that's great. Like, and that's super normal to be super excited. And then like come week 3, you might dip into that 7. And this is where I'll just say it, and I'll say it all along. We're gonna offer each other grace, and life happens. And sometimes we just have hard weeks, and it doesn't mean we have to scrap everything, right? Like it's not like an all or nothing kind of a thing. If you have a hard week, and you can't get to it, that's okay. Love yourself through it and then join back up. I also think of it like like kind of like a college course where you can audit the course, where you can just sit in and watch, you know, the overview of the course. And you might certain weeks just be like, I need to step back and just kind of observe and do what I can for myself, and know that sometimes also, but pay attention to that, like when that resistance comes in, because that resistance is most likely there because you're at a breakthrough point of some kind or another. So
Yeah.
awesome. So you've
Thank
been
you.
aware of this book for a long time.
I'm really happy to have it come up right now. It's really a pertinent time with
Excellent.
your support, right?
With
So
what?
thank you ahead of time, you guys.
Yay. Yay. All right. Amy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Um, Hi, I'm Amy. I'm calling in from home in Boise. Um, I joined because some just a lot of changes in my life lately. I lost my daughter almost 3 months ago on the 12th, and then my middle son just turned 18.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of in this new chapter of my life before I was ready for it. And so I'm looking for something positive to get me out of that dark place. I'm
Yeah.
looking for a way to come out of this a better person, a more focused person, and a positive person. So I remember seeing this book, 25 years ago in a bookstore, and it was selling. I just never thought I would need it, but
Yeah.
I think it's good for me right now. I think
Yeah.
it'll help me it be put in a good place.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. And especially again, like when hard things come up, just wrapping yourself up in that shawl of grace. But I truly do believe that there are things in this book that are going to help excavate some joy in the middle of a dark season, because that is definitely when I entered into it. I was just for the first time coming out of a very, very dark period of my life. So, you know, take what resonates and then just allow yourself to let anything else that's too much to be too much. And that's okay. We're not seeking perfection. And she even talks about that. Like, it's so important. Like, so many of us are probably recovering perfectionists in here. It's like, this is not about perfection. This is about just showing up and playing with all these concepts. All right, Mama Blythe, would you like to introduce
Well, I
yourself?
am Mama, yes,
Yeah.
and also known as Blythe. And this is, I first, I'm pretty sure I came across this book with my friend Sherry in California, and I'm in Boise, Idaho. My friend Sherry in California years ago, but it wasn't a focus and it got lost along the way. And right now, this is my third time. Is this third or
It's our
fourth?
third summer. I mean, yeah, we do. I've done it every summer. I did it first individually, and then we've done it 3 times. So have you
Okay.
been on
And
all 3 times? That's
yeah,
awesome.
but this time I'm there. I'm
Your
really,
level of commitment
so
is,
I'm up on a 9-10, I think, because I'm
ooh, I forgot
really,
to ask.
Nice.
And you can put it in the chat, maybe, Amy, where you're at with your commitment. So you're this time you feel
I really feel committed. I know because I have figured it out how to do my artist date and what is and what isn't an artist date. Um, I'm I'm kind of excited about writing every morning. I've been reading the intro the last couple of nights in bed, and I can write. I don't know what I'm writing about. I don't know what I'm writing about a whole bunch of times and not feel bad about writing that when I don't know what I want to write about.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited. And I'm sadly going to have to bail out of here in about 7 minutes because I'm in an all-day event at a neighbor's house called Mardi Gras.
Mardi
And
Gras. Yeah.
but this will be available to look at later. Yes.
Yep. So I'm going to explain a couple of things after we do our
Okay.
introductions.
And
but
I'm
yeah.
delighted to have met Amy. I think we've met. I'm not sure.
At the Moon Circle.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And Francella, cool. And Mara, I've seen you on this somewhere. So, and Alyssa, hugs, and Kimber, hugs. So I'm sorry to have to bail.
No, have a good day.
What a group. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be fun.
And my husband left for camping today for a week.
Yeah.
Oh, the smile on your face. That's hilarious. Okay.
He took my car.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well,
my car's to Nevada, and then so I have a big old truck to drive today.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'll see you later on over at Mardi Gras. But
okay.
Just go ahead and when you need to go.
I want to listen to as much as I can here in introductions, and then I'll catch you all next week.
Okay. And then Mar, am I saying that right?
It's okay. It's Mare.
Mare.
Okay, yeah.
Mare.
Or it's Marianne, but I've been Mare since I was 12.
Okay. Everybody say that out loud. Mare.
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 Just think of air. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Or a horse, whatever works for you. It's fine. I was actually, the universe has been working in amazing ways in my life since I've come to Idaho. I came from California, and I belong to the New Thought in California. My husband's from Denver, and we joined the New Thought in Denver through the internet. And so Wayne Dyer, Mary Morrissey, all these people have kind of been in my life, but I seem to gravitate toward them when I need them. And then when I think I don't need them, up here starts getting all that weird thinking. I walk away from it because I think I'm all right. And then I start to struggle. And when I came here, I didn't know a soul, and I got really depressed, and I missed my family. Excuse me. We followed our kids out here. So we were grandparents, and I'm a stalker. So I followed my grandchildren wherever they go. That's the agreement. And so when I came out here, I happened to meet somebody that introduced me to Kimberly. And that, I can tell you, has been the biggest blessing so far that I've had since we've moved here. Because I started working with Kimberly, and we were both in these really dark places, or these kind of like not really sure who we can trust and who we couldn't trust. And we kind of found each other and started, she's really helped me kind of, I am a perfectionist at a level 12.
Okay, good to know.
And I have been director of operations, rules, process. And she is, her, loving and light. And this doesn't have to be figured out today, Marianne. It's okay. We'll get it. And I'm like, what? What do you mean we'll get it? You know, and she's
Yes.
brought me way down in the
Oh,
last year.
great.
And so she actually inspired me to, she called me an artist one time and I went, huh? What are you talking about? I'm an artist. And so I was excited to show her more and more stuff that I was doing. And I was just doing simple embroidery because I was bored out of my brain here and I didn't really know what to do. And then pretty
Mm.
soon it did start the creative, everything started happening. And then I saw her work and I thought, oh my God, if this woman's telling me I'm an artist, that's amazing.
I have yet to
But
see.
more importantly, she has shown me that it's okay to be vulnerable. We've
Mm.
cried together. She hasn't deserted me because I cry. You know, I'm not like less than because I cry. And so I think when she brought up just recently, she asked
Yeah.
me if I ever read The Artist's Way, and I said, I don't even know what that is. And she said, you have to do it. You have to check it out. She got me the 4 agreements. So I was reading through that and I started reading this and I said, oh my God, this is the most amazing. I'm so excited. So when everyone's saying they're a 9-10, I, you know, of course, want to go perfectionist and go, oh, I'm a 12. I would say I'm probably at that 8 just because I have other outside things that, like
Yeah.
this morning, I told Kimberly, oh, I already went through the list. I don't need to go. It's okay. I'll just follow up. I'll watch the recording. So she was, no, you're here. We're here together and I'm excited. And I met you at the Salt Sanctuary and I knew she was so attracted to that energy of yours that I
Mm.
just have to kind of follow her and she kind of leads me to the
That's
right path. So yeah, I'm
well,
excited.
I'm so glad you're here. And thank you, Kimberly, for just, I mean, and that's what it's really all about is sharing this invitation with one another. I think it's really powerful to oh, Alyssa found us. um but it's really powerful the you know to share this invitation with other people that you think would be on the like to be on the journey, and there's nothing, we can always invite and then see what happens. So Alyssa, our mama in residence, our young mama in residence, why don't you give yourself an introduction, my dear?
Okay, well, I am Alyssa. I've got 2 young kids. They are aged 2 and 3, and I've recently made the leap to leave my corporate job and pursue writing full time, which having this vast openness, I feel like the Artist Way will really help kind of guide me and give me a little more structure.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'm about a 9 in commitment. I have the time and the willingness. I've just always been intimidated by the Artist Way before. I've never done it. I've heard about it. It sounds like a lot, which sounds a little scary, but I'm excited to try it out for the first time.
Yay! Awesome. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, so we're all here. Okay, bye, Mom. Have a great event.
Hugs, everybody.
Okay, we'll see you next week. Okay, so a couple things that I just wanted to go over since this is week 1 is first and foremost is the in between. So this is a weekly call that we'll have every Sunday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, and Princella, what is it, noon out there? Yeah. Okay. So we'll hold this, and like Mar said, like you can absolutely watch the recording. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to share my screen real quick and just remind you of this. This is the kind of the teaching hub that has everything in it for us. The on here. So if you just go down here, you'll see the blocks. And so last week we had the intro, and I've posted down here the replay of that call. If anybody wants to go and listen to it, you can listen to the replay here. And so this recording will go up right here under week 1, which is about recovering a sense of safety. That picture freaks me out. Anybody else feel like a little freaked out by this? Like, oh my gosh.
I totally thought it was you.
Oh, hell no.
You go, girl.
Oh, no. I have a swing in my front yard, which I love because I can put my feet on the ground and push myself. But yeah. So
Practice makes perfect.
Oh man, most every week just is like this right now with the title and then just a little bit about it, and then the Zoom link is there on this hub. So if ever you're like, where's the Zoom link? Coming here is great. Also on my website, let me just put this in real quick. Oops, not the admin page. I don't want the admin page. Well, just bear with me for a second. If ever, my website is Let Love Rise. And so there's under the events page. Oh, I love this one. How to Take a Leap of Faith. This is definitely inspired by this book. But if you just hit on the events, I think that's where it is. It's the first thing that we have going on. So the Zoom link is also there. For you. And if you know somebody that wants to join us, again, like I said, this is a I look at it as one of two ways. One way is like those of us that are really wanting to work towards something, like Alyssa just took this leap of faith, and she's going to talk a lot about taking a leap of faith into your creative side. I know that Kimberly is clearing out space to do some more painting, and I think Mara as well. Are you a painter?
I am watercolor and writing.
Awesome. Awesome. And Priscilla is working with like her book and getting visibility around that. And Amy, just as somebody who's just like uncovering, we're all at different places of intent with this. But just knowing that when we take the time, and if you can put it in your calendar, this Zoom link is going to be the same all the way through. When we show up live, it's a little bit we're perhaps a little bit more present in it versus watching the replay, but of course life happens, so the replays are there for you. Does everybody have access to what I just showed and is logged into that little hub? So that might just be something to bookmark for the summer. Yeah, so I see everybody nodding. Amy,
Yes.
yeah, or you could put like a yes in the chat. We can use the so that's one tool that is just going to ground us for our check-ins. And you'll see that after week 1, there is actually a section of the book called check-in, which is nice. But then the other thing that I like is this Marco Polo app. And I've created a group, I don't know if you can see it, called the Artist's Way. And the Artist's Way is when you click on it, there's like a little button to record. And so some people have introduced themselves, and this is an optional tool. I love Marco Polo. Priscilla and I regularly chat, and Alyssa and I, and my mom and I, it's just like a nice way to stay connected, short and brief. Kind of in the midweek stuff, maybe if something hard has come up, you can share it there, or usually around Wednesday, I might just pop in and ask a question, see how you're doing. So again, it is totally optional. The whole idea behind the Artist's Way is for it to be fun. Okay, for it to be fun and playful. And when it's not, when we're in a state of like, this is hard, or if you're putting it on your to-do list, just check in with yourself. Like, why is that? Or what else do you have on your plate? Is it this that's bothering you? Or is it like the myriad of other things in life that is causing the frustration? So just checking in. So those are our two main spaces. The weekly stuff is here in your computer dashboard, and then the app is like kind of a to-go. Last thing I'll say is that I have the book obviously in book form, and I love this because the first time I listened to it, it was on Audible, and I was trying to imagine, I'm like, how is this structured? Because she'd be reading quotes and then saying that, like, I'm like, there was just so much to it. So I do also recommend the Audible, which is great if you're driving around town, and sometimes you maybe want to listen to the essays, because there's usually 2 or 3 essays, and then there's the tasks section. But sometimes listening and then going back and reading it is a helpful way to do it. So, and it's just an option if you have Audible. I have Audible. I have a bunch of credits, so I have the book, and I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm cooking and listening, and other times I'm walking my dog and I might be listening, and then I can go back to read the pages. So let's start with just talking about the introduction and the basic tools and what was the other thing that was in here? The basic tools and the basic principles, spiritual electricity, basic principles. Is there anything, my dog is like wanting to go outside. He can wait. Is there anything that you would like to share that came up with you in those first couple of pages? There is, of course, the contract on page 23 that I'd be curious to know how many of you signed. Did anybody change the signing of it? And then in the basic principles, just anything that came up for you as you read through this and prepared to start this journey.
I'll just say quickly that I haven't gotten my book yet, and so I'll have
Okay.
to play catch up. It should be in the next couple of days here.
Okay.
Same. I'm here to listen and be part of the conversation, but a little behind today.
Okay. Totally good. Because
Yeah,
your
I
mom,
just got my book on Thursday, so I'm just now, but I got Audible this morning so I can read along and
okay.
listen and read.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I just read the introduction, read part of it like last week, and then I was jumping into it today, that spiritual electricity.
Mhm.
So I remember having like a couple of oh shit moments. Right, okay. Like
They
this
start
might
early.
just get into that grimy stuff, and I'm going, oh shit,
Mhm.
I need to do that. It's part of it. And yeah. So
Okay,
yeah,
a couple oh shits.
yeah, right. And I'm looking forward to and doing that down and dirty stuff too. And just writing it out, because you are more creative when you get all that clutter out.
Yeah, and that's really exactly what the morning pages are. And you know, my mom kind of spoke to it at the beginning about, and Julia Cameron mentions this in the introduction or in the basic tools, that if you don't know what to write, like even just writing, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to write, or picking an affirmation. She has a lot of affirmations in here, which are going to become very powerful because she's going to, this is all about our inner child in many ways, right? And so our inner child, like in that realm of our inner child, we can maybe imagine hula hoops and bubbles and sandcastles and playful stuff. But then there's also a time where our inner child experienced her first wounding, and that and maybe we don't even know what it is or where it is, because, and I will say that I'm somebody who said, yeah, my parents got divorced when I was like 7, 8, but and I would immediately follow that with, but it was a friendly divorce. That was my perspective. I don't remember my parents fighting. I don't remember anything really hard. And then coming back as an adult, it's like, wait a minute though. I actually was hurt. Like that actually does have an impact on me at a young age. And so the first week is called Recovering a Sense of Safety, and it comes back to that inner child. And there's going to be a lot of conversation about the fact that we are all artists, we are all creative, but throughout our lives, people have told us that we're not. I used to do theater, and it was very clear that theater was something that I could do in high school. But once I went to college, it was time to get serious about my life. Like theater was not going to be an option, which, you know, probably with the state of my voice, that's just fine that it didn't happen that way. But, you know, like there are people that speak into us or are very clear, and like these sensors. So she talks about it, yeah, as the sensor, like censorship. So we're going to be excavating that and then noticing when that sensor comes up. What are the blurts? What are the things that we say to ourselves that we've internalized that we don't even know that we've internalized? So there's this great list of affirmations, basic principles, or is that affirmations? Is that in chapter? That might be in chapter 1. So all that to say is affirmations are a great thing to write over and over and over in your morning pages as well. Just pick one that you want to stick with, and just write that until another thought comes up. And also, I will say, as we embark on the morning pages, is that if, depending on the size of your notebook, I do the journal, the spiral notebook. If you're finding at the beginning that it's really, really, really like hard to get those 3 pages in, allow yourself 1 page, 2 page, or 3 pages. Like if you can get to 3 pages, that's awesome. It does get easier. She likes to call it also like a written meditation. So like there's no, like nobody's going to read this, including yourself. This is not something you share with anybody. And I say this specifically to the authors and the writers. Like there are times where we just want to get our words out and have it to be beautiful. It's an excellent place to start writing rough drafts or start doing what Anne Lamott calls the shitty first draft, which I love. This is Anne Lamont's book, Small Victories. Great book for writers because she is just like, just write the shitty first draft. And so for some of us who are writers, that's what it's going to be. And those of us that aren't writers and want to express our creativity differently, same thing. Like I'm not a writer and that's, but I'm going to write all my thoughts. It is a brain dump and it's really, really powerful. So that can start today. Did anybody write morning pages this morning?
No.
Okay. I didn't either, people. So it's all good. It's all good. However, you could either start today, this afternoon, tonight, or just tomorrow. Get up, and she recommends that we set our alarms a half an hour earlier to make time for this practice. So it does take about a half an hour to write 3 handwritten pages. And again, your hand might cramp at first, but you will develop some strong motor skills in your right or your left hand. Okay. I see lots of nods.
Yes.
Okay. And then, yeah, the commitment. Your artist is a child. It is the time commitment that is sacred. So the artist date is an exercise, a play date that you pre-planned and then defend against all interlopers. So today is Sunday, June 9th, and we will meet again in a week. And so if you're thinking about your week ahead, I recommend, especially in this Gemini season, where it is all about our daily routines and the people that we interact with, looking at your calendar and carving out a time in advance and scheduling it into your calendar. This is an option to just say, this is when I'm going to do my artist's date. Because I have found that if we don't do that, we often don't do the artist date. So, you might have to look at whoever you live with and balancing their schedules or your work schedules and your meetings, and think about what you might want to do with your artist date. So I wanted to, there's the creative affirmations are at the end of chapter 1. Those of you that do have the book, I just wanted to start by looking at the end of the chapter. So page 38, 39. And those of you that are just following along, just listen in. So the first chapter it's got 1 shadow artists, your enemy within, your ally, and affirmation. So she's got about 2 or 3. I don't know if you count those 2 or 3 essays. Yeah. And also the first time I read this, I was very clear that I was not an artist. I was not a creative person. I was a teacher. I still am a teacher, but when I was reading this and she was talking about like what blocks us from being this creative person, I was like, I'm not going to make this my job. It's not going to be my living. It's not going to be my my go-to. So I was like, this doesn't really apply to me, but she's just there are essays that might feel like this is for somebody else, but it's still to the part of us that wants to create. So we all have blocks no matter what, whether we're pursuing it as a career or if it's just a hobby. There's still things that get it in the way of us even doing our own hobbies. So, looking at the book, what I wanted to ask is for those of you that have it, to look at the tasks. There are 10 tasks, and seeing if there's one there that you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds kind of fun. I think I'll try that. So I'm going to give you guys a second. And I know a couple people don't have the book. So task 1 is do your morning pages. Task 2 is taking yourself on an artist date. And this is the part I want, you'll do this every week. A sample artist date. I love that she puts these right at the beginning. Take $5 and go to your local Five and Dime and buy Five and Dime or your local dollar store, right? Buy silly things like gold stickum stars, tiny dinosaurs, postcards, sparkly sequins, glue, kids scissors, crayons. You might give yourself a gold star on your envelope or on your notebook each day you write, just for fun. So that was a artist date. So those are task 1 and 2.
I
And then,
like task 3.
okay, we want to
Time
share that
travel.
out. Mare,
I'm sorry, say what? I didn't hear you.
do you want to share it out? You like task
Yes. The time travel, it says list 3 old enemies of your creative self-worth. When I was listening this morning to the audiobook, and she was talking about shadow artists, and she was talking about, we've all heard that's not going to pay the bills. Okay, but be serious now and go get a job. I live in the shadow of my father, who was an artist, like real live, legit
Oh, no
artist.
way.
And there was never encouragement from that sorts of an artist. So I just never thought I was good enough. And so the little 3 enemies, whenever I'll start doing something and someone's like, that's really beautiful, I immediately go, oh, no, but you should see my dad's stuff. So I'm constantly, but I just realized that in the last couple of years that's been my, like, your go-to. That's been my, well, yeah, it didn't affect me, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the
clearly
same
did.
thing when it clearly
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Yeah. So like you're literally in the shadow of your father as an artist.
Right. And I would have a year ago said, you're crazy. That's not at all how I
And
feel.
as
But
an artist, he didn't want you necessarily to have the artist's life because
well, there just wasn't a conversation. I mean, I lost my mom when I was 15. So we were back and forth from my dad to and I lived on my own from the time I was 16. So I didn't have, so he was already becoming that artist, radio show guy, the whole bit. And I was trying to figure out how to stay afloat. But there was never a conversation when I did share my stuff. Like, oh, you could really do something with this. There just was never that the encouragement. I get that from my husband now. I mean, this guy is in my ear all the time he's super encouraging. So
Yay.
yeah, that's been very healing, but I never even realized that was a thing. I just started doing that recently because I have my dad's art around the house and I'm like, oh yeah. Here's my studio, but you should go downstairs and look at my dad's stuff. Yeah. Didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, that's going to be a great, there's a lot of time travel. 1, 2,
Mhm.
3, 4. 4 of the tasks are time traveling tasks.
Yeah.
Did anything jump out, Amy or Kimberly, as a task that you're like, ooh, that sounds kind of fun?
Well, I got the, oh shit, for mayor, jump right in there. Right? Why not just jump
You
right
know how
in
I
the
do.
deep end?
That's funny.
I think I'll enjoy time travel. I don't
Yeah.
think I'll pick the monsters for the first task, but
Nah.
Yeah, there is a monster. So there's the enemies of your creative self-worth is one of them. Another one is one horror story from your Monster Hall of Fame. Like if there's some story that replays on, just a horror story. Like it's getting it out, it's seeing it, it's releasing it. That might be a good one. The other one with the time travel, she has 2 others, are champions of your creative self-worth, right? Who was there like really like encouraging you? Those who wish you and your creativity well. And then the last time travel is select and write out one happy piece of encouragement. And of course, this is the one that I have starred in the past, and write a thank you letter. Mail it to yourself or to a long lost mentor, which is
Oh,
just kind of
I
fun.
thought that said long lost monster. No,
Yeah,
forget that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Amy, did anything jump out at you in the tasks?
It did, the imaginary lives.
That's my
That
favorite.
would be fun.
Yeah, do you want to share a little bit about what she says about the imaginary lives?
Um, if you had 5 other lives to lead, what would you do in each of them? And that feels kind of freeing. Like,
Totally.
wow, maybe I could think of that would really push my imagination.
Yeah.
So that seems really fun.
It's super fun. It's one of my absolute favorite things. And so she gives the examples like I would be a pilot, a cowhand, a physicist, a psychic, and a monk. Right? Like they're just totally imaginary. I mean, I know for me, I'm gonna do this one again. I think it's a playful way to set in. So Kimberly, if you don't want to dive right into the monsters, like Mary
Yeah,
did.
I was thinking I would do that one first too, the imaginary lives.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, and that could be a fun one to think about and that we can share as they come up. But I'll see what has changed in mine from previous years, but it is a fun one. Like you could do anything. Like
Right. Andy, should we put them with the morning pages, or morning pages or exclusive
so
notebook?
great. That is a great question.
Yeah.
The rules are there are no rules to the morning pages really, just except for doing them. So sometimes I find that taking that time to do one of the tasks is a really great idea. Like that can give you something to
Oh, as you're beginning to the morning pages.
yeah, it gives
Okay.
you like direction about what to write about. And like she has one like write a letter to the editor, and like so you can just do it in your morning pages if you want. Or and by the way, like when it comes to the tasks, nobody is expected to do all 10 tasks. That would be a lot. Like I usually pick one or two. And this one, it's helpful because some of the tasks are, just starting the morning pages in the artist state. But the imaginary lives that I know emphatically that I have written them down in my morning pages. I don't have like a separate notebook for my tasks. I just haven't done it that way. I just have done the one. So,
good.
so yeah, like if that inspires you, use that. And use that time also because, sometimes we just don't have the time to do more. And so like if you have the morning pages and you're holding that sacred, that's
Mm.
good. Yeah. And then other times what I do is if I'm like, I'm going to do a task, I use the same notebook. That's the other thing. So sometimes I write the morning pages and then decide like,
Yeah.
oh, I have time for a task this afternoon. And I use a spiral notebook. So I use the same notebook and I write it all there. So it's just like my artist way work.
Mm.
Or I'm trying not to use the word work and my artist way play. Yeah.
Play.
Yeah.
This came with the book that I bought, this big old
Oh,
like the pages
The
thing.
journal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are getting that. I think Amy, you have that as well, right? The
Do,
journal?
yep.
And so we can all work in here too. I like it. All right.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be curious to know how that if how that goes. If you like the journal.
Okay.
Take yourself for an artist walk. The two of you. I love that also. A brisk 20-minute walk can dramatically alter consciousness. I could not agree with that more. I know that when I get down on myself or in a creative slump or frustrated, that just getting outside is immensely helpful. So there we have it. This is kind of our launching into chapter 1. So the tasks for the week ahead would be to read chapter 1, to start writing your morning pages starting tomorrow. If you want to carve out some time today, you can, but starting tomorrow, carve out 30 minutes a day, and then plan when you'll do your artist date, because I just know how quickly weeks can go by and how easy it is to put ourselves last. So this is a step in putting ourselves first. Alyssa, do you remember your word of the year for this year? Was it this year?
I do not recall, but I'll try to remember before next one.
I believe, and correct me
You
if it's
remember
this
for
year.
me?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's the word selfish.
No, that was last year.
Was it last year? Okay, it was last year. Okay, so I don't remember this year's word. But I was so stunned that at such a young age, having that word selfish as the word of the year, I was like, that is so powerful. But in many ways, we're being asked to be selfish for the next 12 weeks. And there's a big difference between selfish and self-centered. So selfish for me though got real messy. I have all kinds of things that come up, like don't be selfish, don't be like it's like a so when you pick that word, I was like, that's really, really powerful word to go with. And so that's part of this artist state, is we have to be selfish, we have to tend to ourselves. And so making it a priority, I can't speak strongly enough about like prioritizing it. Yeah.
I remember this year. It's small changes that make a difference, which I
Oh,
feel like resonates well here. Just small
yes.
changes, writing a little bit every day.
Yeah.
That worked out.
Small changes. That's good. Atomic habits, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Does anybody have questions or comments before we go forth and enter into week 1 of recovering a sense of safety?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you for having us. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited in a new way also to do this. Like I'm doing this through totally different eyes this time. So that'll be interesting. I'm trying to walk the life of the sacred of the artist way this year.
Mm.
Walk it.
Yeah,
So
I'll just add that I'm just looking forward to what this book shares as the artist's way. I haven't been able to see a book at all. And so I'm excited about that. I feel like it's very fitting with where I'm at right now,
yeah.
and that'll be fun. But I was just curious too, is how many people are new to doing this book? I don't know if we said that
New,
already. Oh, okay.
brand
Yeah,
new.
we've got a balance here, but
Yeah. Amy, you're new, right?
Yep.
Mhm. And then there's two other, there's Tara who thinks she's gonna join. And who else? And then yeah, my mom and I have done it before, but
mhm,
most people are new. Yeah.
fun.
Great question.
Good to meet you all.
Good to meet you all. Yeah.
Nice to
Princella,
meet you.
what's the name of your book?
It's called The Unified Way. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah.
It's called The Unified Way, Balancing Masculine and Feminine Energy as an
Oh, wow.
Entrepreneur. And
Mm.
this book is really fitting because it helps to balance masculine and feminine with what Andrea shared with me. I definitely feel that it resonates very, very well with
Mhm.
what I'm working on for my own personal journey, and then as a writer.
Mhm. And you do it through the lens of human design as well, right? Like
That's right.
your book.
Yes, it's through the lens of human design. And I tried to write my book in a way where if you're not familiar with human design, you can still get so much out of it, and learn how our centers really impact our energy, and how the flow of energy through the centers really helps us to get helps us walk toward what we're meant to do, at least in the now, what we're meant to do
Yeah.
in the now and the
Right.
future. And the
Right.
now is so important in balancing the masculine and feminine energy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Very,
that.
very- and is it unified, like united?
Do you want to
yes,
drop? You could even drop in the chat if you want like a
yeah,
link, because are you looking for people to review your book too? Is that part of your?
absolutely. Yeah, thank you, Andrea.
Mhm.
So I the ebook was released, but now the paperback has been released. And yeah, I would love, I'm looking up the exact link. Is everybody in the US here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put this link in there. That is the paperback. Oh, this is it has, yeah, Kindle and paperback in there. Okay, got it.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks so much, ladies. And if you have, oops, that's an awfully crazy link there. So I hope that leads you to the like, wow, that's
It's like, yeah, go Amazon.
Go girl, right?
Yeah,
Get it out there.
just reach out through Marco Polo if you have any
Oh,
trouble.
but it totally works. It does work.
Okay, good. Okay.
You just click on that blue and it'll open up a whole new page, but that's
But it's
awesome.
in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you go to the
yeah.
chat,
Yes,
There's
I'm gonna go there.
ridiculously large link, but you just click anywhere in it and it'll open up the Amazon page. But yeah,
You know,
that's-
and I have to say too, you mentioned the RVing thing, and I feel like making a decision to just do it, whatever the thing was that I wanted to do in
yeah,
life, like opened up the pathway to doing other things, of course I been through the phase of life of having my littles at home, and now we're in a phase of life where we were able to make the kind of decision that we were always thinking about, and holding. And then when you have the opportunity to just do it.
yes,
Yeah. So anyway, love to.
yay. All right. Well, have a fantastic Sunday today. Sunday fun day. Enjoy the week ahead, and we'll see you back here in a week and in the Marco Polo land for those that want that extra support and kind of talking it out in the in between.
Got
All
it.
right. Yay.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Christy.
Thank